Hi, lovely. Hope you're having a lovely day. I wanted to hop on today and talk about intuition and how it can really help boost your manifestations from the non physical into the physical form quicker than if you don't use intuition. So, the first thing is that all of us have the ability to have strong intuition, and we all have this intuition in us basically in different forms. So it's that little gut feeling, it's that kind of knowing, that kind of guidance that's kind of beyond our rational thinking. It's in the back of our minds, in the subconscious, and it's just this little feeling that, we have, and we don't really have a reason for it. That's kind of the summary of intuition in my mind and how what I'm speaking on. So, lots of people have different ways of having their intuition come through for them. There's strong ways that you can have with like clairaudience, where you actually hear a message in your ear, and it's just like, it's not you because it often sounds in a little different voice, or it's just like this, you know, whisper, or you hear yourself kind of speaking to yourself in this other form. And then there's ways that people get with visions, or there's just I think it's called claircognizance, where it's just a knowing. You don't know how, but you just know something's gonna happen, so it's like this knowing inside of you. And then there's also where you can smell smells that you haven't smelt before. And from what I've learned, the more you work with one of these types of intuitions or guidance, the more the other guidances, the guides, the other types of like claircognizance, clairaudience, sorry, I'm blanking, they'll show up and it'll kind of spill over. So the more you're working with intuition, the more you're asking to have, a clear understanding, a clear message, the more you're going to be tapped in and turned on and listen to all these messages coming through for you. And the one thing that I've learned is that when you get a message like this, it's really important to honor it and to listen to it. Because if you don't, then I feel like you are shutting off that part, and you're just kind of telling your higher self, oh, well, I don't really want that in interaction. And because I feel like our higher self or God or source or the universe really honors what we want as our truth and what we're wanting to live in this human experience, it just won't show up as much. So it's really asking and waiting to receive and being patient and asking that you have more of this guidance, more of these messages. And that's the first step for having them show up more for you. And the way that you can use them for your manifestation is really just asking for guidance towards whatever manifestation or dream you're having, asking for guidance on like the actions you can take, or maybe it's the non-action you need to do, but asking that higher self for signs or for information in regards to why your manifestation isn't coming, or like interacting with source and your higher self, or whatever you want to call this guidance, asking for, help with your manifestation. So, say you want to manifest love and you keep feeling bummed out, and you're like, oh, well, like, why isn't this person there? I know they exist, or I know that, like, I'm worthy of it, maybe, but like, why is it not coming in? And like, the more that you're talking to this intuition, and the more you're just kind of feeling out and waiting to hear things, the more things are going to show up. And it might not be what you expected. You might get a little sign that's saying patience, like, and you might be like, patience, like, what is that supposed to be? And it might not even be when you're thinking about manifesting love, but maybe you look and you're like, oh, well, like, maybe the patience is what is blocking it. And so you can start to like play with these different signs and the things you're learning. Maybe it's telling you need to move, and you're like, why would I need to move? I have a perfect job, I have, a good community, I have nice friends here. But you feel in your heart, or you just have this knowing that like you need to move, you don't know why, And maybe it's your dream person, you know, maybe that biggest manifestation is just around the corner and that's what that gut feeling is telling you. And I feel like you can always know if it's like your true intuition if you just like close your eyes and like feel into your heart space and really go into like where is this like a fear-based response, or does this feel like it's divinely protected? Does it feel safe to you? Is it, you know, sometimes our mind will say that's crazy because it's scared and we have a lot of fear with our own mind. Like maybe you'd say that's crazy to move, like I got everything set up here, I just bought a house, like, but in your heart you just know, like there's this knowing and this little intuition or this little guide. Well, the signs will come through in different ways. You might not hear anything, you might not see anything, you might not smell it, but you might have a knowing. And that's like, that was the hardest one for me, is because I always had claircognizance. I think that's the one that it's called. Correct me, you guys, if I'm not right. But it was just this inner knowing of when things would happen. And it would always trip me out. I'd just be like, I knew that was going to happen. And it would bug me so bad because I'd know really shortly before something, like that day or like a few hours, that like I'd get cut or something would get hurt. And so I'd be trying to be really careful. And then I'd still end up like cutting myself or hurting myself. And I'd be like, oh, it's so annoying. Like I knew this was going to happen. And it's just like this inner knowing. But the more that I started to trust that inner knowing, then I started to hear like, you know, messages. And I've had like smells show up or different things. Like my dreams got stronger. And so it's really about trusting and believing that those signs, when they come from your heart and they come from a deep knowing, or they are a heard message and stuff, they are trying to divinely guide you from your highest purpose of what you truly want, which is in alignment with your, you know, your true happy place of manifestations. And really like the it's only, I believe, it's only good guidance. I'm not a doctor. Like if you're feeling like you're schizophrenic, or you're having, you know, things tell you not good positive things, or you're hearing voices, I'm not talking about that. Like definitely speak to a physician or listen to your gut about that. Like nothing should be telling you to do anything harmful or out of love, or, you know, that is not love based. But I'm just saying, for basic general little guidance, I believe that that inner intuition and knowing is really pointing us into the highest, for our highest potential. That makes sense. And I just wanted to talk about that and a few ways that you can strengthen it. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys on different ways that you strengthen it. I know that meditation has really helped me to really understand what is kind of the just random thoughts that are passing through my head, and really where is my soul at and where is my heart at. And when you learn to kind of quiet your mind and just sit within your own presence, you start to learn a lot about what dialogues are going on in your mind, which is a really powerful tool for manifesting and creating our dream realities as well. So I thought that this could be very useful for some of you. If you like, please let me know. And if you want me to talk more on different experiences on how I've strengthened different aspects or different parts of my intuition, please let me know, because I have some funny stories. And yeah, love to hear from you all. Hope you have a lovely day. Bye bye for now. Thanks.